Okay, on today's Crisis Confessionals, it is time to get real. Because what I do when I'm low isn't what you'd expect, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see yourself in it too. Hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life. So, I made a video the other day where I was talking about phases of contraction and phases of expansion. So times when we're contracting and things don't feel particularly nice. And then phases where we're in, expansion and everything feels amazing and life is beautiful. And how we are constantly in a process of either contraction or expansion. That's pretty much, I think, what we're doing. Even if it doesn't feel like it, because actually maybe you've just been stuck and you've stagnated in a period of contraction and don't know how to get out of it, right? And I spoke about, I think, allowing that process to happen and understanding that that process is really the thing that you need to be able to get you to the next phase of expansion. It's necessary. They're yin and they're yang, right? They both exist because of one another. One isn't better than the other. So let's talk about that. And it got me to thinking about what is it, right, that I do? So I'm laughing because I know what's coming, right? So what is it that I do during these periods of contraction? Do we notice what kind of behaviors and what kind of choices we make when we're in a period of contraction? So I was thinking a lot about this because I've very recently gone through a period of contraction. And to be honest, I think I'm probably still in it, right? And that's probably why it's on my mind and that's why I'm kind of mulling it over at the moment. But it's like, okay, what do I do? So not so much now, but previously, whenever I went into a period of contraction, um, I would just want to buy shit. Like, I just get this immediate urge to just buy something, to spend some money, to make myself feel better, that whole fucking retail therapy thing, right? And it would go from something as small as I'm going to buy myself some new makeup or that top that I saw to I'm going to book a holiday to Trinidad for me and my two kids and I'm going to just spend 4 grand right now. Fuck it. Like, because I need it. And it was like this compulsion to do it, right? I don't do it as much anymore, but I think I still, to some extent, have the compulsion to want to do it, right? But the thing that I noticed very recently, the thing that I noticed very recently was that one of the things that I do when I'm struggling, and it's so funny because my son came into the front room on day like 4 of me being in contraction and was like, what is wrong with you? Like, all you've done all week is sit on the sofa and watch shitty films on TV. And this is my like autistic son who generally doesn't really give a shit what anyone else is doing, generally doesn't really care to notice what emotional state anyone else is in, and generally doesn't really give a fuck about what your day-to-day activities are. So it kind of made me think, well, for you to notice it, Sam, it must be abundantly fucking clear that this is what I'm doing. And it is true. It's so true. I don't know why I find it so funny. I think I'm just embarrassed, right? Because I'm not really one to like watch rom-coms. It's not really my thing. I'm mostly, most of the time, rolling my eyes at these completely ridiculous, unrealistic storylines that basically just have all the same blueprint. Someone meets someone, either they like each other or one of them, no, they like them, they do. They like each other, they meet each other, they like each other. Then there's some kind of hurdle that they have to overcome, and they overcome it, and then they live happily ever after. And depending on the certification of the film, you get to see them have sex or you don't, right? That's pretty much what all rom-coms are. And I'm always just like, ugh, how pathetic. It's not even real life. However, when I'm in a period of contraction, I'm literally like a fucking addict. I'm an addict for this stuff. Like, last week, I think I must have watched 15 rom-coms. And look, I'm not saying about, like, if you love rom-coms, cool. If that's your bag, go for it. Clearly, it's a guilty pleasure. And I guess even saying that, it's like, what is a guilty pleasure? But maybe that's a question for another day. But yeah, it's like, what the fuck is that about, man? Like, what is that about? And I sat and I thought and I thought and I thought about it for a long time, right? Trying my hardest not to be in judgment because I'm like, watching rom-coms all day long. Anyway, so I sat and I thought about it and I thought and I thought. And I think what I realised, I know what I realised from having looked at that is that the reason why I want to watch these movies is because there's something about them that is around safety, acceptance, and belonging. So I remember when I moved to Costa Rica, right? I just packed my bags, picked my family up, and left. I was like, this country's fucked. This whole situation is fucked. I'm out, right? I don't want nothing to do with this. And I left. And then I was just suddenly in a completely foreign country all by myself with my two kids. And I remember the first week that I was there, I was spinning out like differently, internally spinning out. I started watching the Twilight series. And this was only like 3 years ago, right? So these films have been out for ages. And I remember up until this point just being like, watching fucking Twilight. Like, what am I? Am I a 12-year-old girl or something? Like, how ridiculous. Like, I would ever watch Twilight. And then I watched it on repeat for like 8 days solid. And every time my kids came to my room, Twilight was on. And they were like, are you still watching this film? And I'm like, yeah, but it's a series. It's a series, guys. So it's not the same film that you saw me watching yesterday and the day before. Watching a series. But I'd just watch it on absolute repeat. And looking back now, I kind of think about what was that all about? What was the last week all about? And I think Twilight's a really good example because there is literally a girl who is being protected by all the men in her life. She's got a dad that protects her. She's got a vampire that protects her. And she's got a werewolf that protects her, right? And it's just something about kind of that being loved and being reassured and having someone there that's got your back and not feeling alone and feeling like you belong to something, that you belong to someone, and feeling overall that kind of encompassing feeling of safety that these people on the screen have that I don't have. And thinking about kind of those periods of contraction and the fact that it's a process and the fact that it's your body and your mind trying to reconcile something, trying to learn something, trying to grow in some way, trying to transmute all of this energy from whatever it was that kicked off this period of contraction. Thinking about contraction in that way, like, it's really helpful to me to understand what are my behaviors when I'm in this process. Because when I understand my behaviors, I understand what it is I'm actually looking for, what it is actually that I'm fearful of. And watching Twilight on repeat has taught me that what I'm scared of is I'm scared of being alone. I really want to feel safe. I really want to feel safe. And clearly, somewhere in my brain, it's like, you can find that in a relationship. You can find that with someone else. Someone else will be able to give you that safety, right? Because what's a relationship? Really, I'm just looking for someone to kind of be the dad that I didn't have and treat me like, and make me feel like a little girl and protect me and all that shit, right? But I think if I can look at it in a way without judgment, without ridicule, without embarrassment, then really I can understand what it is that I need, what it is that I'm searching for, what it is that I'm longing for in those moments. And I don't know that that necessarily gives me the answer in terms of how I find that. But what I would say is that if you don't know what you're looking for, you're sure as fuck never going to find it. At least if I know what it is that I'm looking for, then I have a better chance of either seeking it out or stumbling upon it in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I think that's it. That's really all I wanted to say. I'm off to watch Twilight. Really not. Um, yeah, something that I'm grateful for. Grateful for the producers and the casting directors, and the executive producers of the Twilight franchise, because you got me through some really hard times. Some really hard times. But aside from that, and all those people that worked so hard to make that movie franchise what it was, what am I grateful for? You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think I'm just grateful for the awareness. Like, it's just good to understand myself. It's good to understand what I'm doing, why I'm behaving the way that I am. You know, because even if I think about like buying things and like particularly holidays, like I'd always want to like buy a holiday, just get out of here. Like I just wanted freedom. I wanted, really, I guess I was just trying to run, right? I guess that's all I can say. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I just think I'm really grateful for the awareness. Knowing what I'm looking for, what am I searching for, what am I seeking, what don't I have right now, what do I feel is in lack, and having those times that maybe don't feel so good but are really beautiful teachers if you let them be. Yeah, I think that's it. So, what do you turn to when life feels too heavy? And what is that really about? Drop it in the comments. I'm here for all of it.